What-o? Let me get everything together. Cool, blimey. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Yeah, I've got my gogs on. Hang on. Tracy the Celibate Sinner. Let's have a look. So we'll get into stuff. It's a bit of a weird one tonight because other than the Chris Carber story, as an observer of news, it feels a bit weird because there isn't any news. But we'll get into that. As is tradition, I shall welcome you into the body of the Kirk. I will introduce subjects for the Simon this evening. I do hope you've brought refreshment because, well, the altar wine has been a little lacking over the last few weeks. So, you tightwad. I hope you brought some. I have my hibiscus, the traditional hibiscus, one bag. But I could do with a bit of Battenberg. And those that know. And I have been fancying, because I told you about this this bag of Curly Whirly that you can get now, which is kind of Curly Whirly deconstructed is what I was trying to say. I've been trying to find Curly Whirly bars. I can't find Curly Whirly bars anywhere. Obviously, I live in the middle of a jungle, and there's no class or breeding where I live. So, trying to find a Curly Whirly, and Terry Scott, for that matter. So, Stuart says, evening, Rev. Since I'm first here, I hope you like what I did with the Battenberg. I placed it ready to be served. Vodka, after wine is ready, and the pews are squeaky clean. Have you given them a wipe down, Stuart? I didn't know that was going on in the congregation whilst I was delivering the sermon, but, whatever gets you through the night. I'm so glad that you managed to give the pews a wipe down, because that's why they're made of wood. There's nothing better than a lovely bit of wood, as I keep telling the new Mrs. Allen. Andrew James. Oh, I say, Andrew James has deleted his message already. To Stuart, the Rev was so drunk from vodka he went to Stoke, beat Chelsea. He thought it said Sunderland. Who was it? I was reading possibly yesterday. Somebody I'm following on Facebook, and I can't remember who it was. Haircut 100. Who was the lead singer by Haircut 100? Favourite shirts. He posted that he'd stopped off. He was going up to Sunderland to do a gig. And he went up to Sunderland and then stopped off in Richmond, North Yorkshire. And I was thinking, that's still nearly 2 hours from Sunderland. Bloody hell, where's he been coming from? But you can't tell these shiny drinking Southerners. Obviously, they think that Richmond is in Surrey. Sorry, I need to take a... Anyway, at least the colours are correct, though. Vodka is not a good idea for the Rev. No. At my age, it's never a good idea. GB Patriot, evening, Reverend Adrian. Bit sus, the death of the protester in prison. Yeah, we're going to do that tonight, GB Patriot. Yes. Don't get ahead of ourselves this evening, is what I'm trying to say. Stuart says, Elandro, that's why I'm keeping my secret stash hidden from the Rev. Oi, share alike, man. If you've got a bit of Battenberg, don't keep it to yourself. I will see you fingering your Battenberg from the pulpit, let me tell you. Today's hymns are Sunderland All the Way, Roker Wave. We have to listen to Souvenir 45 of the 1973 FA Cup final, a.k.a. Sunderland's Cup. Sunderland, the underdogs, are in the lead. The mighty Leeds. No, Leeds might be in the house tonight, so I don't mean to be disrespectful. The Rev wants us to chant along to Dance of the Nights. Oh, I say, as the team comes out onto the pitch, and I have, I have no clue. My life has just been full of extraordinary ness. And I have been on the pitch at Stadium of Light. I was never on the pitch at Roker Park. But I did get to go into the machinery of Roker Park when the radio station I was working for, TFM and Metro, were promoting David Bowie at Roker Park. And the first words out of his gob, when and still to this day, it's just as well he's dead. Still to this day, people of Sunderland lambast him and his memory for him walking out on stage and going, "Hello, Newcastle!" Oh, how he got out that stadium alive, I'll never know. I will say that the mighty Leeds are giving Sunderland a good run at the top of the Championship at the moment. I do wish Watford well. Members of the body of the Kirk are also Watford fans. So hopefully Sunderland will return the favour for Watford by trouncing Luton tonight, but maybe I've just tempted fate, because they did beat us to go up a division. Viv Kenyon in Delos says, welcome to Wacky Wednesday sermon by our ranting Rev. Great times ahead, so strap in your pew. I'm so glad you didn't say strap on, Viv. Wee Willie again. Great times ahead, so strap in your pew. It could get messy. That's why we've had Stuart wipe them down, Viv, because thankfully they're made of wood, so they're easily wiped down. Amalia Grassi, hello, Amalia. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Just remind me to put Battenberg on my shopping list for Saturday. Tesco better sell it. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Don't forget your curly whirly, because that's how it comes out. Oi, 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 oi. Where are we? Amalia's still going. Anyone know about how the Wirex app works? It's doing my head in. Majorly pissed off with them. Wirex? What's that, Amalia? What are you up to? I am going to talk about an app tonight in just a little while, because we're going to cut through the usual BS. As I say, over the last few days since Sunday's Live, I've been looking at the news thinking, what's going on? I mean, literally nout. Unless you talk Camel Toe and the Donald, nothing else. Literally nothing else. Neil Cunningham says, good evening, one and all. Evening, Neil. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Tracy the Celibate Sinner. Greetings, brother Neil. Oh, I say. And Tracy the Celibate Sinner says, welcome, my children, though I sense you're not here for confession, are you? No. Battenberg. Naughty souls like yours need special attention. Don't worry, I'm very good at penance. And that's not those things that you put from your holidays on the wall of your bedroom, if you know what I mean. Lauren Taylor says, evening all you absolute wrongs. Oh, can I tell you? So I have irrefutable proof that the term Rongan I actually created back in 98, 99. And it is a bastardization of a technical term of a more intricate sentence that I just kind of lopped it off at the back and just started whenever anybody would call my phone. And I used to call them Rongans. And in 2002, I released a CD. And in the sleeve notes, it's got all about the Rongans. So, so far, Bev What's-Her-Face from GB News. She's using it. Who else did I see today was using it? Well, I'll take it as a compliment. It's taken 20 years to get into the lexicon of language in this country, but, you know, I'm a patient man. So, welcome. Oh, hello. Yes. Tracy, Lauren. Evening, you absolute wrong'uns. It was good, so good for Lauren that I had to say it twice. Amalia Grassi, think Mr. Kipling do a mini Battenberg. Tesco must sell him. Yeah, a mini Battenberg, though, not being a size queen or anything, he's not quite going to do it. If you know what I mean. Depends where you put it, I suppose. Oi, oi, oi. Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Nikki Watson, evening one and all. Evening Rev, evening Nikki. Welcome to the Body of the Cook. Bovril, evening all. Double Battenberg and a mug of tea. Oh, you utter wrong'un. The old Bovril, double Battenberg. Is that both ends? Neil Cunningham says, one eye on AA, one eye on Liverpool in the Champs League. They're not doing too badly this season, Neil. Did I see it right that Klopp is going to go back in the footy? Must have been about the Benjamins rather than integrity. In the field, good evening, Flock and Reverend Rongan. Anyone fancy watching these Puff Daddy VHSs that I picked up down the market? That's absolutely funny as. Best one so far in the field? Yeah, I would actually, if you can ping it across on WeTransfer. Because seemingly, I mean, I've seen a picture today of J-Lo and Puff the Magic Dragon couldn't find a mate, frolicked in the autumn mist, accustomed to his fate. Then one day he found her, a lovely bit of stuff, but he couldn't manage it. That's why they call him Puff. Anyway, I learned that when I was about 4-year-old. And it stays with me to this day. It's just the Diddy, the diddler, the Diddy, the Puff. Piff Paff Puff. Whose catchphrase was Piff Paff Puff? Was it some magician? Or maybe a Watford supporter. Hang on, Lauren, what's going on with Tracy, the celibate sinner? Can I think about it? Oh, I say, Lauren may have something to confess. We're patient, Lauren. We've got all night. And Leah. Hi, Adrian. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Body of the Kirk, Leah. Andy Turner, R.I.P. Jeff Capes. Got to get to that, Andy, in just a minute. Neil Cunningham returns the compliments to Leah. Hi, Leah. Hi, Kathy. Oh, flirty. Penny Hen. Hello, Penny Hen. Welcome to the Body of the Kirk. And AA, ask Alexa to say Simon says, don't forget the Battenberg. Alexa. Oi, Rongan. Alexa. Volume 5. Alexa. Say, Simon says, don't forget the Battenberg.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Just bloody say it, woman. Jesus. You're always bumping your gums. Simon says, don't forget the Battenberg. Alexa. Do you like curly whirly?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Both hands, Alexa. Thank you.
Anytime.
Woo. Have I pulled? Get your coat. Even Stephen says, good evening. Evening, Stephen. Even Stephen's even. Welcome to the Body of the Kirk. Same with Clive Smith. Evening. And Mark Ogden. Evening, Mark. Welcome to the Body of the Kirk. Where are we at the moment? Right, okay, we're nearly there. Gene Psychic. Oh, welcome to the Body of the Kirk, Gene Psychic. Good to have you live. Hello, been very down lately, so this is a welcome video. Oh, Gene, we aim to make you smile. Hopefully, it'll be the Battenberg or the Alta Wine or the Curly Whirly. Just depends how you use all three of them, maybe together. Tracy the Celibate Sinner is still celibate. She says, I read that Brother Jeff Capes, the budgie smuggler. Have you seen him in his smalls? The budgie smuggler, budgie breeder has fallen off his perch. I know. I am going to talk about Jeff Capes tonight because it's kind of... I'm sure there are the young'uns in amongst the wrong'uns that would go, who? And yet there's people of a certain age, like me and you, who would go, oh, Jeff Capes has passed away. He will no longer be propelling his big metal bollocks through the air. Because he was a staple when we were growing up, really. He was always on the telly. He was an athlete. Shot putter. Right, let's get to the bottom of evening. Fern, evening all, says Fern. Nick, someone? Nick? Oh, yes, sorry. I'm 10 minutes behind, Fern. Nick. Oh, I can't remember his bloody name. But yes, he was the lead singer. Nick Haywood. Haywood? Yeah, Haywood. Nick Haywood. He was the lead singer of Haircut 100. Was it Pelican West, their very first album? But Favourite Shirts and Love Plus One are fantastic pop songs. But he was, why was he going to Sunderland? I mean, that's some schlap from wherever he was living, possibly on the south coast, where it's seemingly full of old folk and smells of piss. Pennine Counties, Justin Hayward. So we're getting there. We've got Nick Haywood and Justin Hayward. Maybe they were brothers. Who knows? I have seen adverts for an interactive War of the Worlds. I'm not quite sure what that is. Maybe it's kind of like zombies and stuff where you have to chin them and get stuck in. Not sure that's allowed, but I remember going with one of my exes. We went, what did we do? Was it Madame Two Swords? We went somewhere and like right at the very end of the tour, they had these zombies come out, and then people were playing these zombies, and like some of them, they needed a bit of Bamberg, to be fair, but also with the smell of alcohol on their breath, and they just. I know I'm not a violent man. I'm too old, man. I'm too old. I'll leave that to the younguns. But we were coming out, and I was with my then girlfriend, and they were just getting a bit silly. Like they were trying to grab her and just, they were trying to noise you up as you walked out, so you would go, "Ooh, wasn't Madame Two Swords good?" I think it was that. So I had to grab one by the throat and say to him, "Tell your mates to get their hands off my girlfriend, otherwise you're all getting it." He was like, I'm a zombie." I said, "You'll be fucking unconscious if you continue doing that." I mean, it was 20 odd years ago and I was a bit more leery, but I mean, so yeah, I'm looking at this War of the Worlds. We'll get full circle. Justin Hayward, Nick Haywood, and they're now doing this interactive with the Martians, the War of the Worlds. Now, I remember as a young boy. See, you get me onto music, as you didn't. I remember listening to the radio, Metro Radio, on a Saturday night, the Hot and Heavy Express, which the mighty legend that is Alan Robson first presented. And they were doing this interview, and they were playing bits of War of the Worlds. Was it Jeff Wayne who composed it and did the music and everything? And it was Richard Burton, Richard with that beautifully deep, resonant voice of his. And not Tom Cruise, not that version. And I remember listening to it, and it was almost, ooh, the Martians are coming. Ooh, Sunderland. Do you think they'd land in Sunderland? No, we'd frighten them. But listening to it on the radio was a magnificent experience. Back in this is like 78. I mean, it was wonderful. Theatre of the Mind. Oh, I wonder where you got that name from. Theatre of the Mind radio. That's what it's all about, listening to stuff and conjuring things in your head. So the first time I listened to Justin Hayward, Forever Autumn, which was a great song. And not Nick Hayward, obviously. But always good, always good. Right, we need to get some focus here, because you will end up distracting me. Napoleon Blown Apart. Hello. Feeling like crap, but I'm here for the sermon. Simon, to make you feel homesick. Napoleon Blown Apart. But welcome to the body of the Kirk, as ever. I'm gonna make tonight's live more interactive than usual, because I think there is something going on. I can't quite put my finger on it. Yeah, it's that small. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's it just feels weird at the minute. Now, it was a full moon on Friday, and I will tell you this: the emergency services hate doing a night shift on full moon. They do. Why? Because they don't call them lunar ticks for nothing. Because people go a bit weird. I don't know whether it's because we're so many percent of water. I don't know whether it's that or Neil Cunningham, I've scored a goal at Hague Avenue, home of the mighty Southport. I've scored loads in Southport, let me tell you. Rock FM was a fab time. Napoleon Bonaparte, thank you, danged residual COVID stuff. So that's what I was going to ask. Is it sort of, you know, from 2021, March 21, is it that? Is it lockdown? Is it, there's something going on. Like my cough won't go. And I've tried all kinds of bits and pieces. Andrew James, as long as it wasn't Time by Dave Clark. Oh, that stage show. No. Who sang that? Was it David Cassidy or was it Cliff Richard? Is Cliff Richard still alive? I can't wait till the stories start coming out. I'm not going to go any further. Ray Norton says, Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds was a masterpiece. I agree, Ray. But hearing it come out of the speakers, sort of like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, midnight, my bedroom's pitch black and it's coming out of the radio, and it was so evocative. Craftsmanship of the highest order, and just being able to, that's why I call the channel a theatre of the mind, because that's where the best stuff happens, in here. Neil Cunningham says, hey, slow news day, always precedes something big. And well, that's what I was going to say, Neil. It's so since Sunday there was a bit of news around, but there's not, I mean, I've literally scanned the shite in the newspapers today and thought, can I use that? No. So the water companies want to increase the bills by 84%. Is that news? No, that's bloody corruption. And then we've got the politicians. How can you tell when a politician's lying? Their lips move. And but that's not new. I thought, well, do we do? Hang on, Cliff Richard, double with Leo Sayer, Freddie Mercury, Julian Lennon, and Ashford and Simpson. Ooh, that's a bit of a congregation there. Andrew James, Ashford and Simpson. It Seems to Hang On is my favourite by Ashford and Simpson. Freddie Mercury, well, Freddie's Freddie. Leo Sayer can't sell his tickets for his tour at the minute using seat fillers, so I'm told. And Cliff Richard, well, I'll leave my opinion to myself for the moment. But when it happens, I'll outlive him. So when it happens, you know where you heard it first. Gene Psychic, my friend saw something. He felt strange, like a motorcade in Ruthin. Is that Ruthin? Is it Ruthin? Ruthin? Gene? But like going quiet, not the right way, acting strange. Ooh. Pennine Counties, Cliff was in my garden. Was he bending over at the time? Obviously, pulling out the weeds. Ray Norton, so-and-so gets called Kitty when at his hotel in Portugal. I bet he does. Yeah, wrong one. Stuart, GMB and Loose Women were talking about prisoners being released early. So unlike the women on GMB and Loose Women to talk about anything that is premature. Bet they were whining on about it. Mad Matt UK, welcome back to the Body of the Kirk. Hi everyone, I was trying to find Comet Atlas last week, but no chance, sadly. Found the moon though. Was it bright? Was it a full moon? Half moon? Total eclipse? No, I didn't see Comet Atlas either. But it's all a distraction. So let me just, everybody's got their feet under the table. Don't forget to smash the likes on your way in. Yeah, wrong. Andrew James, Leo Sayer tickets are a bit overpriced, to be honest, 30 to 40 quid, depending on seat and venue. I think he was, I saw something in the press over the last couple of days where they're struggling to sell the tickets. Now, back in the day, when I was a teenager, riding about on my bike chasing skirt, Tool coming to play in Birmingham, I think, in November. Tickets, 80 feckin' quid. Who's Tool? Amalia. Tool. Is that Starmer's dad? He was a Tool mega. Ghetto Defendant, welcome to the Body of the Kirk. Ghetto Defendant, I have the identical same cough to you, Adrian. My doc reckons it's the jab made my immune system extra sensitive. I've not had it up me, to be fair, Ghetto Defendant. But somebody on here, one of the lives about 2 months ago, said, oh, Adrian, you've got the 100-day cough. I was like, you could cough. I'm not got a 100-day cough. But obviously, it appears I have. Total eclipse of the fart, Pennine Counties. Paul Heaton is keeping the price down. I know, Andy, and good on him, because if you look at, I'm not going to mention her, but what did I see today? Hang on a second. Something's in the deepest recesses. What did I see about Taylor Swift? She was. Where was it? Was it in the mirror? No, it wouldn't have been in the mirror. It's two left wing. Hang on, let's have a look. There was something, I've seen a picture of Taylor Swift with, was it Diddy? I think he might have done, to be fair, and George Soros. But if he asks, I didn't say anything. Roger Bits and Doings, he can't pronounce your name. Oh, Amalia's into the heavy stuff. Ruddy L, says Amalia. Tool is a brilliant metal band. James Maynard Keenan, voice of the gods, huge band. Not side screen, Amalia, but I do like a bit of metal myself. Right, just to kind of qualify that, Amalia, look for the Tigers of Pang Tang, Hellbound. That's a tune. Not like the commercial stuff of AC/DC. Tigers of Pang Tang. They were a northeast band back in. I've got the 7-inch on vinyl, so it's about 1980, possibly 80, 81. Tigers of Pang Tang, Hellbound. You will be nodding along to that one, Amalia. Napoleon Blown Apart. Geez, I paid 1,400 quid per ticket for Genesis. What? Genesis in 2008. Was Phil Collins still alive then? 1,400 quid, Napoleon Blown Apart. Right, okay, let's explore this, because I'm very interested. So it's going to be a 2-part question, and you can stick it all in the comments. The most expensive gig you've ever been to? Mine would be Gregory Porter at oh God, man, Prince Albert's place. Albert Hall. So what's the most expensive gig you've ever been to? Mine would have been Gregory Porter, but because I had to buy the new Mrs. Allen dinner and tickets and box. And do you know, some people have no class whatsoever. We went to see the mighty Gregory Porter. I mean, he's got a voice and a half, the boy. So we're in a box, and it's a 4-seater box. And the dipsticks behind us had obviously gone to the local pizza place. They'd the Albert Hall, you know, dinner jacket, bow tie, lovely, nice flowing dress. And they brought a pizza box in, sitting behind us. And I was like, you can't make this up. It's a comedy routine. Aber Voyage, says I Basic. Is that how you pronounce that, I Basic? Aber Voyage. I was offered tickets to that. Not to judge. I don't judge anyone, but I just would rather poke my eyes out with very sharp implements and go and see. Because basically, ABBA were the camel toe queens of, and it traumatized my teenage years, because they suddenly appear in these tight leotard suit things, and I was like, they're blokes. I'm joking, of course, but. And then the music went a bit, thank you for the music. And then the latest album, God blimey, how shite is ABBA's latest album? No, I'm not judging anyone, it's just in my view. So what's the most expensive gig you've been to? And Robert Taylor, yeah, Jammy Tart. Saw Genesis at Nebworth for free. Oi, oi, oi. Ray Norton, £13.50 for Queen at Wembley in 1986. Nice. Pennine Counties, me and Sainted Brother, Who, Quadrophenia in 96 for 27 quid. Oh, bet that feels good. Paul Duncan, good evening, Your Eminence. Eminence. I can't even say it, I've had so much altar wine. Glad to join your congregation. Paul, welcome. I'll pop your cherry for you. Alan says, Cannon and Ball, Nottingham Commodore, 1981, free. What do you do? Bash down the back doors. Stuart says, Michael Bublé, 3 Arena, Dublin, with my best mate and his missus. 88.99 a ticket for Michael Bublé in 23. At least Dick Turpin wore a mask. Even Stephen, Paul Carrick, Sheffield City Hall, February 2020, 65 quid. Do you know, even Stephen, I interviewed Paul Carrick a long time ago. Where was that? Rock FM. So it might have been 95, 94, 95. Record company asked me to go down, and I got the King's Cross. Wanted to tie my shoelace because I was in a rush. Put my mobile phone down and left it and forgot it. So by the time I got to this really lovely hotel suite with cameras and lights and stuff, and it was a hello Paul, and Mike Rutherford. So it was Paul Carrick and Mike Rutherford. And I agree with even Stephen that Paul Carrick has one of the best, smoothest voices ever. Him and Paul Young, because Paul, not Paul Young, but Paul Young the Australian, I think he is. They used to juggle lead vocals for Making the Mechanics. So meeting Paul Carrick was wonderful. Even Stephen, I hope you enjoyed the gig. Napoleon Blown Apart. I also paid £7.50 to see Floyd at Earl's Court in 1973. Oh, Napoleon Blown Apart, right at their height. Band-Aid 1985. Tickets were a £5. Tracy the Celibate Sinner. Were they really? I bet St. Bob's not happy about it now. Saw Clanad in 2006 for 30 quid. Expensive then. I agree, Andrew. Pauline Makepeace. Neil, I'm not a fan, but still would have liked to see him. Who's the him? So jealous you saw Queen, says Amalia. Agreed. I would love to have seen Freddie live. Just. I mean. And let's have... So, I didn't speak to you.
Oops. I thought I heard my name.
No, you didn't, you tart. So we kind of got pretty expensive. Who's that? Andrew James. My wife spent 60 quid per ticket for the Beach Boys. It was not fun, but not worth the... It was not fun, but not worth the price. Yeah. Pet Sounds. That's about it from the Beach Boys. Stuart, I know we saw him in May 2023. Normally, Bublé goes back into hibernation and doesn't defrost until Christmas. Yeah, I know. Oh, Kenny Thomas. 45 quid about a month ago. Andy. Kenny Thomas. I've seen him live back in 95. I know he's had his troubles. Hang on a second. Ernst Goldfinger, I've got to mention this. I'll get back to you in a second. Ernst Goldfinger says, Don Estelle outside Walworth Stevenage cost a whispering naff all. Now, didn't he have... Ernst, this is proper anorak stuff, because I met Don Estelle when he was doing pantomime at Sunderland Empire back in the day. And I've still got a signed copy of Don Estelle's Little Donkey. One of my most prized possessions. I jest. But that's my only Don Estelle story. Tracy the Celibate Sinner. Blessings, Sister Lottie Martin. Oh, Lottie's in the body of the kirk, everybody. Careful. Hello, sweethearts. Oh, Lottie, there's still some Battenberg left. A tiny little snifter of altar wine, if you're lucky. But I think the Curly Whirlies are definitely far too popular tonight. Don Estelle, brilliant voice. I can't do... What was the guy that played the sergeant in It Ain't Half Hot Mum? I mean, would they ever be allowed to make something like Ain't Half Hot Mum? No. Status quo. Wembley Arena tickets were free. Will they be the old Bovril? Once we're on music, that's it. Hello. Everybody goes mad for it. Don Estelle with his Roundabout Zoo. Don't know that one in the field. Windsor Davis, sing lofty boy, with obviously a slight Welsh lilt. They're both dead now, aren't they? Windsor Davis. Pauline Makepeace. Andy, look at you. What's he done now? Honestly, I've got to try and keep up with you. And Napoleon Blown Apart. Those were the days, my friend. Oh, those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. we'll sing and dance forever and a day. Jesus, where did I drag that from? What was her name again? Mary Hopkins on the Apple label, because she was signed to the Beatles, wasn't she? Mary Hopkins. Blimey, Napoleon blown apart. Hi, Tracy, the celibate sinner, sweetie, pulled in the field. Wasn't a song, he was a character on League of Gentlemen, was he? As was Royston Vasey. Real name for Chubby, you fat bastard. Andrew James, sorry, I must watch my language, Timothy. Andrew James at Ernst Goldfinger. Don used to sing around shopping centres around the southeast, selling tapes and CDs from a suitcase. He used to mime over the tape with a microphone. Mary Hopkins, says Alan. Wonderful. Andy Turner says he still has the voice. Pauline Makepeace says, Andy, I love the sax. I think that's for behind bedroom doors, closed bedroom doors. Pauline. Michael Olka Ed. Don Estelle dies. Diddy? Oh, no, not Diddy. Not the diddler, but honestly, who was, can I say this story? And it's forever rankled with me. So Don Estelle was in Panto, and I went to interview the female star of that Panto, and she was getting very fresh. Don Estelle, so they had adjoining dressing rooms. He bloody just walks in. Oh, hello, and I was like, oh, you tart man, I was in there. Alan, not the pot to pee in. Got it. Gene Psychic. Oh, I see Harry Enfield's Liverpool Empire. Is he? Really? Loads of money. Chubby on tour here in Essex. Is he, Andy? He's always on tour, Chubby. Anyway. Do we continue with the music stuff, or do you want me to get banging away with stuff? Because there's nothing better than when we start banging. Next live, this coming Sunday, 27th of October. I mean, I'm saying that as if it's sort of a surety. Hang on. Tracy the Celibate Sinner. Have you been sitting on bags of Curly Whirlies? Tesco sell Curly Whirly bars and Curly Whirly squaggles. Don't ask. Don't have to, Tracy. If you're celibate, it's the only way you're going to get any. Curly Whirly squaggles. Oh, I say. I did see Harry Enfield, Liverpool Empire. Sorry, Jane. These people are failing me drastically. Andy Turner, sold out. Fantastic. I mean, I've seen Chubby quite a few times. Always makes me laugh. But do you know something? I was talking to someone recently about being from Sunderland and partly the northeast. And we're sort of rough diamonds from Sunderland and the northeast. And he did say something that was so profound. He said, our comedy is obnoxious. So I said, explain that to me. He said, well, the stuff that we say, people kind of go, oh, did you really say that? So it's, hold that thought. Ernst Goldfinger saw Tigers of Pang Tang in Hitchin, accompanied by local metal band Titan. Spoke to Tommy Vance on his show, and he played it on his Friday show. Now that's quality. The Tigers of Pang Tang, Hellbound. You'll find it on Spotify and all the streaming services. It's just fantastic. I mean, it's proper, head down, no nonsense, mindless boogie. It's wonderful. Lottie Martin says, I wish I could go to all these music things, bring back the British seaside on the buses rides, bring back all that gritty pork, scathing British pub humour. You see, I don't know about you. Maybe it's a generational thing, but I simply can't sit there and listen to somebody who's woke, like Michael McIntyre. I'd rather let that big dick deviant diddler do me over a sofa. I don't. Curly swirlies have shrunk. Size Queen, Gene. Pennine Counties. So I'll get to that. The legend Dave Allen at Manchester Palace in 1990 for 12 quid. Oh, was it that? Yeah. See, Dave Allen was funny, but he was obnoxious. He was very anti-Catholic. But Demis Roussos, forever and ever, you'll be the one. Paul, honestly, have you been on the altar wine? Demis Roussos. You know how he sang that high, don't you? There was a bloke underneath his cassock that used to twist his nuts to get him higher. First gig, Teardrop Explodes at the Tube. Blew my mind, says Nicholas. Oi, 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 oi. Teardrop Explodes. Come on, memory. Teardrop Explodes. I can hear it in my head. Teardrop Explodes. Reward. That was the song. Reward. Now there's a song for you. You know, when we talk about this stuff, and then we reference Taylor and Swift and Ed Sheeran, they can't hold a candle to Teardrop Explodes. Reward. That was a tune off. And who was the lead singer with Teardrop Explodes? He invented, and I did have a sweatshirt that I was given by the record company. It'll come to me in a second. Julian Cope. What a boy. I mean, so creative. He invented this mic stand where he could stand on the mic stand and sing. I mean, how creative and wonderfully creative is that? Julian Cope. Hi, Holly. Welcome into the body of the Cope this evening. Dominic Beresford says, Julian Cope, Teardrop Explodes. What a band. I know, honestly, you put Reward on against any of the shite that's floating around nowadays. I mean, One Direction or Wand Erection. I mean, there's all this outpouring. Now, anyone's death early is unacceptable under any circumstances. But look, Liam Payne was not Julian Cope. All this hand wringing, and we've got like Teardrop Explodes are still on the not Teardrop Explodes. Tears for Fears are still on the road. Roland Orzabal doing interviews, and I mean, can you remember the first time we saw some of these bands on Top of the Pops? And it was like, oh, who's that? How cool is that? When Roland Orzabal from Tears for Fears was doing his dance and playing his guitar, and whoa, who's that? Like Jeffrey Daniels doing the moonwalk for the first time for the Shalimar song on Top of the Pops. Everybody's like, oh, who's that? Flock of Seagulls. I Ran. There's another great song. Pete Kiley still on the revival tour. 10-Pole Tudor, Swords of 1,000. Oh, wonderful, Alan. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Love 10-Pole Tudor. But didn't 10-Pole go, not Tent Pole, 10-Pole, go and present the Crystal Maze after Baldy Richard, what's-his-face, legged it? Amalia Grassi, I agree with you completely. There is no art, creativity and music anymore unless it's underground as feck. Technical term, obviously, Amalia. It's all teeny bopper shite. I'm with you, and I agree. There's nothing better than they used to say, oh, the Who was the loudest rock band in the world, and then Iron Maiden came along. And then who were the other massive? I mean, I love a bit of AC/DC. I love Led Zeppelin. I love Led Zeppelin. I mean, Level 42, Andy Man. On tour next year as the album The Works is 40 years old. Stop aging me prematurely. Because I remember when that first came out, I was playing tunes on the radio at that point. TFM in the Northeast. Edward Tudor-Pole replaced Richard O'Brien. He did, Holly, he did. And he was a great TV presenter, to be fair to the boy. But Swords of 1,000 Men, I mean, ooh, we need that kind of English. Don't we? Not. I mean, you know, the Blue Faces up the way, or the Gogs in Wales. We have Jerusalem, but Swords of 1,000 Men, I'd take that all day, every day. Hue and Cry still sound good and tour. Pauline, agree. Hue and Cry, one of the greatest radio songs ever, and I'm desperately padding and filling to remember what it was. Hue and Cry. It wasn't Looking for Linda. That was okay, but it wasn't Looking for Linda. It's oh, come on, somebody help me out. Wonderbar, Wonderbar. Van der Graaf Generator. Yeah, wasn't Collins in Van der Graaf Generator? Labour of Love. Luke, thank you. You saved me bacon there. Labour of Love. Hue and Cry. One of the greatest radio songs ever made. And I'll tell you for why. So as a presenter, it's got, I don't know, maybe 30-second intro. So if you've got a script or you want to say something, you can do it over the front of the song, tight to the vocal, and right at the end, it's what we call a dead stop. The song ends. It's not like one of these that fade out for 30 seconds. It's a dead end. So you can absolutely push it. It's called forward progression. That's the technical term for what we do in radio. And you can end the song and you can get on to the next song, and you can use the intro of the next song. But it just technically, and the ability to use it is wonderful. Labour of Love, Hue and Cry. Love, love, love. How did Britain make the punk rock, the 80s vibe? How did we do it in Britain? Was it something in the water? Magical? What was happening? Age of Consent by Bronski Beat is 40 this year. That is aging me prematurely. I mean, 40-year-old. I was in the clubs at that point for Age of Consent, working as a nightclub DJ. Ain't gonna work for you no more. Thank you, Holly. Andrew James Collins was in Brand X and Flaming Youth. So who am I thinking was in Van de Graaff Generator? Little does she know that I know that she knows that I know she's two-timing me. Kurzel Flyers. Alan. What a great song. Only a one-hit wonder. And around the same time as the Kurzel Flyers. Oi, oi, Adrian. Chris Mundy. Oi, oi, Chris. Mentioned you earlier, you're wrong. I see you've put me off my stroke, man. Kurzel Flyers. Little does she know. They were on top of the pops as well, and loved it. But what was the other song at the same time that Kurzel Flyers? Little does she know. Neil Cunningham, Labour of Love, very popular on my 80s show. So you know what I'm talking about, Neil. When you can talk over the intro, tight to the vocal, and then it has a dead stop to it, and you can either get to the next song or get to the ad break. It's wonderful, wonderful. For creatively on radio, it's wonderful. Those one-hit wonders, bless him. Lottie Martin. Holly Ruston, top tune. Newkie Brown, Bottle of the Dog. It says, Great Northeast Band, Toy Dolls. Yes. I mean, everybody goes to Nelly the Elephant, but Toy Dolls and Olga, the lead singer, I mean, he was as skinny as a rake. How did he get that skinny? Holly Ruston says that was about 78, 79 for the Kurzel Flyers. One of the best songs never to make number one, Ultravox Vienna. Yeah, stopped by the one and only Joe Dolce. Shut up your face. No, over your face, Joe, mate. And Vienna, Ultravox, has this synth run in the middle. So if you, I mean, it brasses the listener off because you're talking all over the top of it. But I was doing a sports show, and we played that, and you get about 90 seconds of the song. And then, you know, the synth run in the middle of Vienna by Ultravox. I talked all the way over it. Gave me about another 60 seconds or so to talk over it and get out and go to something else. And since that day, literally since that day, I felt guilty about doing it. But I had so much information to get out. The Devil Went Down to Scunthorpe is a good Toy Dolls cover. Brilliant skit. Wonderful, Holly. Don't know that one. I do know, I do love a bit of Half Man, Half Biscuit from the 80s. Doing the Len Ganley stance and Half Man, Half Biscuit. Right. Nobody sings Sugar Baby Love as good as he did. Sugar Baby Love. I'm just going to ask, is anybody else getting the sound breaking up? Maybe it's just my me Wi-Fi. I'm not sure. Looks all in order. So sorry about that if the sound quality is a bit naff. Andy H. Don't get me going on Ian Dury and the Blockheads. Ian Dury was one of the greatest poets this country's ever seen. And putting music to his songs. What a waste. I Want to Be Straight. Thank you. appears. It might be your end, the sound. Ignore Pennine Counties. Lauren Taylor, no. Hit me, hit me, hit me. Wobbly wheel. So my favourite would be What a Waste. And how anyone got this line into a top 5 pop song, I will never know, ever. I wanted to be a ticket man at Fulham railway station. What a waste. Lottie Martin says, and I agree with you, Lottie, I love it in here. Everyone loves these songs and things and remembers the names. Brilliant. Olga is a very underrated musician, says Nuki Brown. I agree. Oh, Dr. Feelgood. Holly, Holly, Holly. Dr. Feelgood. Milk and alcohol down at the doctor's. Oi, 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 oi. Play that and turn it up loud. Karina Jane, Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. I know, beautiful. It's bang in the middle of the 80s. And the first time I heard that, I was like, I want my MTV. Who's that? It's Sting. Hang on. That's not the Police. Who's doing that then? There ain't have been some clever bastards. Alan, I know. Yeah, and there was, this is easy. 20 odd years ago now. No, I lied, maybe 15 or 16. There was a tour of somebody playing Ian Dury, and it was around him and his bodyguard doing stuff. But I have Ian Dury's daughter as a friend on Facebook, and it's one of my... I just wish I'd been able to meet him. I mean, he probably would have thought it was just a bit shite, fanboy stuff. But he was, Ian Dury, without doubt, one of the greatest lyricists this country's ever seen. Napoleon Blown Apart 2468 motorway. I did my paper round of that when I was a boy at school. I keep tropical fish. Who? Johnny Ray. Who did that? Just in case. Once in a Lifetime by Talking Heads. Yeah. Ian Dury, the lead singer of the... Was Ian Dury the lead singer of the Snowmen? Super Ted, I've no idea. That's a bit of a left field curved ball. Weird Al Yankovic. Yeah, didn't he get arrested? Weird Al, because he was weird. And he did all the Michael Jackson covers. Alexi Sale. Hello, John. Got a new motor. Thank you, Johnny. I actually had the shaped disc of Alexi Sale. Hello, John. Got a new motor. The Corgis, If I Had You. Nice ballad. Saw Wilco Johnson with Norman Watt. Roy on bass. What a joy. Yeah, Wilco. But he did have cancer at one point, didn't he, Wilco? And they were saying it was over, it was terminal, and all of a sudden he beat it. Wonderful. I mean, Dr. Feelgood though. Oi. Was it Lee Breer that was the lead singer of Dr. Feelgood? Now that boy had a fucking voice. Oh, his band were called the Blockheads. I know. Ian Dury and the Blockheads. Captain Sensible, Happy Talk. Oh, I mean, you're getting a bit, yeah. Paul, not sure about Captain Sensible. I preferred the Pistols, to be fair. My version of punk was a little bit more aggressive. Eaten trifles. No, who did that? Jam. Eaten rifles. You're getting me mixed up now. Eaten Rifles. Jam. Oh, that was a tune. Going Underground. See, there's the Jam. They were just young boys coming out. Paul Weller especially. They were teenagers coming out with these tunes. How can teenagers, but they can't now. I'm telling you now, the Nepo babies, they can't come out with anything. They're about as creative as a piece of shite. But back in the day, we had profundity abounding, where the bands were barely out of their teenage years. I mean, I know Bros, I Owe You Nothing, but the Snowmen were session musicians. The producer and songwriter Bruce Woolley, who co-wrote Video Killed the Radio Star. Yeah. Oh, man, I can see him. Who was the other? Trevor Horn. And Trevor Horn was the producer behind Frankie. And that was, in 84, it was Frankie's year. I mean, they were just obliterating everybody else in the charts. You were talking about Video Killed the Radio Star. And Trevor Horn produced and Relax. Here's a fun fact, kiddies. The bass on Relax is actually the kick drum of Bonzo, the drummer from Led Zeppelin's. I can't remember the Led Zeppelin song, but Bonzo played the drum so hard in Led Zeppelin that Trevor Horn sampled his kick drum, and that became the bass guitar sound on Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax. And Trevor Horn, what a muso. I mean, wonderful, fabulous, brilliant. Renaissance, Northern Lights, says Andrew James. Beautiful song. I love that. Metro Radio used to play it when I was a kid. And my favourite jam song, That's Entertainment. Agreed, Holly. Wonderful. Oh yes, just who is the 5 o'clock hero? 5 o'clock hero. Pennine Counties. You're testing me grey stuff now. I have all the 80s music on the Ministry of Sound CDs. Trevor Horn, yes. Art of Noise. Art of Noise and did he produce Propaganda? Two Tribes sent as long as it did. They allegedly kept releasing different samples. Yes, Holly, I've got so many different mixes of Two Tribes, but Relax comes out and you go, oh, you got Mike Reid going, oh no, it's Muggy, no, I can't play that on Radio 1, it's Muggy, and then it goes to number 1, only because, you know, golden showers in the video. But back then, I mean, you couldn't see anything on the telly, you couldn't see anything on video, it was just all grainy. Now you can, they don't show it very often. Trevor Horn produced Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells too, did he? XTC, Pennine Counties, making plans for Nigel, and the XTC are very underrated, very. Do love them. Living in a Box, Room in Your Heart, or Living in a Box. Pilot of the Airwaves, was that Charlie Dore? Andy Godfrey. Pilot of the Airwaves, Here Is My Request. Because I was working in commercial radio at the time and you kind of go, we want to be twee. Mick Hucknall, Simply Red, 40th anniversary tour next year. Look at all these fantastic acts that are coming out. That, like Bronski Beat. Bronski Beat were, I mean, it was everything that just appeared was groundbreaking. Every day, every new song, unless you were Kim Wilde, of course, it was groundbreaking. And now I'm not dissing Kim Wilde at all. Didn't X Radio 1, Radio 2, didn't he have a dance with her? Oh, I just said something out loud that I shouldn't have done. When Iron Maiden scored their only number 1 with Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, because of the clause in chart, BBC Radio 1 were forced to play it during the Top 40 countdown. Oy, oy, oy. Bring your daughter to the slaughter. I mean, can you imagine? Oh, hello, Grandma. I've got the new Iron Maiden song. Iron Maiden? What's that? Oh, would you like me to play it for you? What is it? Well, the title's called Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, Grandma. Wonderful. Don't know, fella. I was watching Clouds Across the Moon. Clouds Across the Moon. Isn't that Richard A. Hewson, Ra Band, Clouds Across the Moon. Lottie Martin, yes, maybe I'll get to see them all doing their comebacks. New music. Oh, was it I Am the Beat? New music. Blancmange, Living on the Ceiling. Who did Drop the Pilot? Crass, great band, Amalia. Newty Brown, Paul Diano, I know, passed away a couple of days ago. He was the original Iron Maiden vocalist, wasn't he? Shame. Great vocalist, but he, you know, he had his troubles, shall we say. Normally booze and drugs. Living by Numbers. Oh, what did Living by Numbers do? Joan Armour Trading. That was Drop the Pilot. Carl Warby. Living by Numbers. Oh, I can hear them. Shack Attack. Wasn't the keyboard player in Shack Attack the one behind Jive Bunny? Can you remember Jive Bunny? Just mentioning it in passing. Not that I'm a fan, you understand. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Blue Moon Rising. There's a proper tune, Paul. Proper. Kraftwerk, the start of synth music, Ray Norton, Kraftwerk. Oh, I just, again, like I'm saying, every day was a new day, groundbreaking day. And I've got neon lights on 12-inch that like glows in the dark from Kraftwerk. And you hear Autobahn, and you hear Tour de France, and you hear all this. Every single song was just groundbreaking. Paul Sharp. Oh, Laura, you might have me. Technical term. You might have me. Who's Paul Sharp? Talk, 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 talk. It's my life, Carl Wappy. Brilliant. And again, Talk Talk, very underrated, but made some insanely awesome songs. Lotus Eaters, says Andrew James. First Picture of You, First Picture of Summer. Wonderful song. I mean, you can feel the sun on your skin just by listening to that song. Even Apache Indian was better than 2024 shite. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Napoleon Blown Apart, but I'm sure it's profound. Laura Sands, Paul Sharp. Oh, Shack Attack, the keyboard player from Shack Attack. Thank you. I'm sure he was the guy behind Jive Bunny. Shack Attack on tour next year as well. Wow. Clacto V said Steen, says Wiggy Videos. You'll only know if you know what the song is. Clacto V said Steen. What a tune that is. Pennine Counties, Lotus Eaters, a legend, I agree. Kraftwerk, Trans Euro Express, wonderful. Natural History was top album, not a bad track on it. And Tracy the Celibate Sinner, Black, Wonderful Life. Really evocative songs that you take from, whether it's the 70s or the 80s, or kind of touching into the 90s. What about the Vapors? Talking Japanese, classic from the early 80s. Let me take a picture of you so I can look at you from the inside as well. Or was that Talking Japanese? I'm trying to remember the lyrics. That was a tune. But groundbreaking. Blue Rondo a la Turk. Clacto V said Steve. And Blue Rondo a la Turk, who became Matt Bianco. Half a minute. So some of the lads left Blue Rondo a la Turk, formed Matt Bianco, and Half a Minute. I'm trying to think of, was it Basha that was the lead singer on Half a Minute by Blue Rondo a la Turk? Black Legend, Pennine Counties. Trying to be Big Bad Barry White. What about Lexicon of Love? Not a bad track on there either. I agree with you, Holly. Wonderful. Basha, yes. Laura Sands, thank you. Japanese, oh yes, I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Wonderful, wonderful, Alan. Talking Heads, Psycho Killer, oh yeah, we'll have a bit of that. In the Field, Klaatu, Canadian duo, did the original version of Calling, did they really? Calling Occupants of Interplanetary Craft. I remember that the Carpenters went, oh yeah, we're going to contact aliens, so we're going to make a song about it. I didn't realise that it was a cover version by a long stretch. Get out your lazy bed, Andy Turner. Yeah, that was Matt Bianco. Swift Removals. Hi, Adrian. I took my mum and dad to Status Quo at the Cardiff Arena around 20 years ago. What a fantastic evening. Don't make them like that anymore. I agree with you, Swift Removals. Lottie Martin. Hello, Amelia. Hocus Pocus. Jan Ackerman. Focus. Jan Ackerman. Where do I know that name from? I know the band Focus. Let's have a look at that. Jive Bunny was Les Hemstock, John Pickles, Andrew Pickles, Patrick Perkins Pickles, Ian Morgan Pickles, Mark Smith Pickles, Joe Holden. So maybe the keyboard player from Shack Attack, didn't want to be associated with Jive Bunny. Tracy the Celibate Sinner, Jive Bunny, created by Les Hemstock, a DJ from Doncaster. Well, you know that originally Jive Bunny got the inspiration for their singles, Come On Everybody, because there were some bootlegs floating around. And I've got it somewhere. The original, there was like a Beatles bootleg, and there was a disco bootleg, and they were all mixed together. And then Jive Bunny came along and did the kind of big band sound and stuff, and got away with it. But the originators were bootlegs that floated around, certainly in the Northeast. Carl Watley, Blancmange, Living on the Ceiling. That's a tune. I mean, proper. Big Rosie, Matt Bianco. Ooh, Big Ro. Maybe I've met her once or twice. Jive Bunny inspired by Glenn Miller. Yes, got that. Oh, Laura, you beauty. Come on. How are the lads? Laura says, Black Cat's 1-0 up. Oi, 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 oi. Who scored it? Was it Wilson again? Stars on 45. Pennine County's House of the King. Was that Genesis? Fairground Attraction. Now, I saw, what was the female singer in Fairground Attraction? Big, tall, ginger girl. Pretty great voice. Went on to do solo stuff. But she, I swear, was one of the backing singers for Gang of Four when the Police headlined Gateshead Stadium. And it was the Police, U2, Gang of Four, and she was Eddie Reader. I swear it was Eddie Reader that was doing the background vocals for Gang of Four. Now, I didn't really know them, but I could just hear her vocals thinking, she's got a tasty voice. I mean, tall, statuesque, but tasty voice. Klaatu kept their identity hidden, and the music press were convinced it was by the Beatles. Oh, really? Makes sense, to be fair. Early 70s, I believe. Thank you, in the field. Eddie Reader. Riggs scored. Good on him. What a boy. He's going to make us a few bob. Thank you, Laura. Keep us updated if they equalise, don't. Japan, Diddy takes Polaroids. Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you that. So, I've got this picture. Maybe I'll put it in a video. I might not be able to get away with it, but I can on X. By the way, if you're on X, please subscribe, because I can get stuff out on there that I can't on here. Rocky Sharp on the replays. Martian Hop. Wow, Carl Warby. Rocky Sharp on the replays. Ramalama Ding Dong. I sound like that after I've had a few beers. K-Tel. Remember the K-Tel? I mean, how pants were the K-Tel stuff? But it's sold by the boatload. And who was it that kept A&M Records going? It was Polydor Records. It was... James Last. Was it James Last in his orchestra? That was James Last in his orchestra were the biggest seller on Polydor Records. They kept Polydor Records going for decades. Taco, Putting on the Ritz. Putting on the Ritz from Young Frankenstein. Andrew J. Go West, We Close Our Eyes. Karina Jane now. Can you remember? What was it? It was on a Saturday night. It was on Channel 4. And it was... it's not coming. They did this this kind of computer generated presenter, and that was Ronco Presents. I agree, Ray. But that was when I first saw Go West, We Close Our Eyes, and again, singlet shirt with a big monkey wrench. Devo, Are We Not Men? Tracy the Celibate Sinner, Are We Not Devo? Whip It. That's not the dog, Whip It. More likely some S&M dungeon somewhere. Max Headroom, thank you, Wiggy Videos. Battenberg birthday cake from the chair. Oh, happy birthday from the chair. I'm probably not keeping up with this. I mean, Amalia Grassi, Marillion. Bloody Nora, that's taking me back. Marillion. Oh, yeah, Kaylee. That was a beautiful, beautiful song. And I think, what's his face, the lead singer, the big old boy, met him briefly in Scotland, and he's still in East Lothian with a studio. I think he's still making music. And I interviewed somebody from Marillion on BBC Radio Newcastle back in the day. That'll have been 2002, 2003. Fish. Yeah, real nice guy. But boy, can he gargle. I mean, I think he's got hollow legs, and he's about 7 foot tall, so there's no chance. He'd win every time. Where's Slash these days? Brilliant guitar player. I think they've been touring, haven't they? And who said that? Somebody said, Andy Turner said Sade. She's still making music, and I've seen her recently. Because her back in the day stuff in the 80s was just, I mean, it was right up there. And so somebody told me, one of my mates told me, Charlie Jordan, she's a wrong one. She said to me, oh yeah, Sade's mum's a hairdresser. So I've been doing my deal. She told me this bloody 30 years ago, and I was when I was in Birmingham running Buzz FM, and she said, "Oh yeah, Sade's mum's a hairdresser. I know her." I was like, "Brilliant." I don't know whether that's one of those kind of urban myths, because there's been some stuff. I would love for Sade to make some new songs, but I don't think Sade's mum was a hairdresser in Birmingham. I think I was had, to be fair. Up the Junction, Newty Brown, classic tune. Again, it's in the lyrics. Beautiful. I mean, amazing. Early Depeche Mode and Yazoo, Vince Clarke influence. Oh, wonderful in the field. Let's have a think. Yazoo, Not Only You, Don't Go. That was like the 12-inch US remix of was it Don't Go? No, what was the tune that Yazoo had to do? Was Yaz, because there was already a band called Yazoo in America, and they couldn't release the song under the oh, Laura, man. I'm depressed now. No, I'm not. We'll win 2-1. Lonely Boy, best song ever. Lonely Boy. Andrew Gold. Yeah, I agree. What? But as I'm saying, the thread through all of this tonight is Only You, the Flying Pickets. Not a fan. Tori Amos. Gotta be big. Gotta be big. Bring it to my lips. Yeah. Mucky Tart. That was in a pop song. Mucky Tart, mind you. We talked Battenberg on here. So, was it Nobody's Diary? No. That Nobody's Diary was Somebody's Watching Me. Jacko on background vocals. I know, because Rockwell was some kind of relative of Jackson, and it was on Motown. So, you know, it was just anything to sell, anything. Yazoo, look. No, it wasn't Yazoo, Professional Widow. I know, Paul Duncan. Neil Cunningham, Yazoo. No, they were Yazoo in this country, but they had to be Yaz in America, and it was this. It wasn't Don't Go. It was a real. I mean, the 12-inch. I played it in the clubs all the time. It was a fabulous powerhouse. Sade's mum was Anne Hayes, district nurse. There you go, Tracy the Celibate Sinner. I was had 30 years, I believe, that Sade's mum was a hairdresser in Birmingham. Somebody sold me a pup. Charlie Jordan, you're wrong. Rick Davies of Supertramp, mum was a hairdresser in Swindon. No way. The Only Way Is Up. Now, The Only Way Is Up by, oh man, I was at a party with her once. She's tall. She was tall. But The Only Way Is Up by Situation. Yeah, Wiggy Videos. Could be. Yaz. The Only Way Is Up. Do you know that is a cover version? It's a cover version of an old blues song, The Only Way Is Up. And I've got the album somewhere in my collection from the 80s. So Yaz, The Only Way Is Up is actually not an original by her. It's a cover version. Yaz and the Plastic Population. Dancing. I love that song. No, you don't love me, and I know now. Lottie, sorry. Alison Moyet? No, it wasn't. Yes, it was Alison Moyet on Yaz, Situation. And Situation is, and maybe I'm just sort of looking at it through rose-tinted glasses, but playing the song, because there's a dead end halfway through, and it only lasts about a second and a half or so. But literally in the nightclub, the first time I did it, I just turned all the lights off. Literally the whole of the floor where the DJ booth was went dark, and they all panicked. And then when the music started again, like a second and a half later, I started the lights again. Jolly Japes, Donna Summer, fantastic singer. Ooh, I feel love, I feel love, I feel love. Yeah, great song, fabulous song. Love to Love You Baby was the mucky one in the 70s. And I can't understand. I mean, oh, you beauty. Laura Sands, stop teasing me, you tart. 2-1 up. Oi. 7:45. Yeah, there'll be... Who scored, Laura? Dawn Penn. I Go Weak, Alison Moyet. That's a great song, Robert Taylor. Great song. And Alf, Alison Moyet, was or is a fantastic vocalist. Fantastic. No, the Barra Nights Float On, Alan, you tart. I'm not having that. Mundell. Ooh. He hasn't scored for a few games. Good to see him back on the score sheet. Andy Turner, In Deep. Last night, a DJ saved my life. And on the B side of In Deep, you would, and I've interviewed, I'll get to that, Ernst Goldfinger, you distracted me. So where was I going to go? In Deep. On the B side of In Deep, all of the sound effects on the A side in the song is on the B side of the 12-inch. So you could play the toilet flushing and stuff if you were in a nightclub. Ernst Goldfinger says, Paul Hardcastle, 19, no. And that was revolutionary back in the 80s. Revolutionary. And I had the pleasure of interviewing Paul Hardcastle on TFM a few years later, and a super nice guy. Lovely. I really enjoyed it. The interview, that is. Sly Fox, Let's Go All the Way. Good song. Dougie Fresh, the show, when rappers weren't into popping caps and twerking ladies or banging each other up the derriere. The Diddler, Ghetto Defendant, The Only Way Is Up. Cover band, Gumbay Dance Band. Bugger off, Neil. Nick Kershaw, Wouldn't It Be Good? Chris Mundy. Yaz. Nusha Fox. Single Bed. That was, I mean, again, quirky, different. It's like Lieutenant Pigeon, Mouldy Old Dough. You have to be of a certain age to remember that. Ray Norton, Rapper's Delight. I said it hip. Maybe one night, Ray, I'll do the whole of Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang. Literally, you could put it on now and I know all the words. Sign of a misspent youth. Andrew James, Animotion, Obsession. What a tune that was. What a tune. Godly and Cream, Under Your Thumb. Again, Tracy the Celibate Sinner. We're talking about songs that the minute they were released, people went, whoa, what's that? Now, Under Your Thumb, the kind of the perpetuation of a train moving forward, it's always grooving, it's always moving. And Godly and Cream and 10cc don't nowadays get the credit that they deserve, because they were fantastic. Some of the songs that they made, and I'm Not in Love, I know that Radio 1 kind of had to get rid of it, because in any poll that Radio 1 ever did, I wonder if Radio 2 would do that now, but Radio 1, any poll, 10cc, I'm Not in Love, would be the #1 song by a country mile. And it's just so simply beautiful. A song of such outstanding natural beauty. It's amazing. French Kissing, song by Little Louie. Yeah, Andy played that on the radio. Newkie Brown, speaking of Nick Kershaw, my ex-wife said to me, Mum, I won't let your son go down on me. That's what Elton John said to George Michael. Allegedly. Goblet and Cream, Cry was a spooky video. Great name though. Just an Illusion, Imagination. Did I tell you? Talk of 69. Maybe on another night. But I interviewed Imagination in it was. Can I tell you this? I interviewed Imagination and Lee John, great vocalist. But Amy Stewart, can you remember the song Friends by Amy Stewart? Now, Amy Stewart was the sister, I believe, of Errol Kennedy, the drummer in Imagination. And Lieutenant Pigeon, Can't Get Me, I'm Part of the Union. No, that was the Straubs, Paul. Personal trainer, Mike, Earth, Wind and Fire. Now you're talking a proper band. Personal trainer, Mike, a proper band. Let me tell you this story about Imagination. So they came into the radio studio and there was this frisson. There was this energy when they came in. And they must have had an argument. They literally walked into the studio having had an argument of some kind. And they were all trying to outdo each other. So, you know, and I've still got the interview somewhere where the bassist told me the story about how they just stumbled over the bass sound for Imagination, Body Talk. And it was through a synth. And Lee John was lovely and Errol was lovely. So we finished the interview after, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or something. And they said, oh, we're playing in Newcastle tonight. Do you want to come up? And I was like, right, okay. So I followed their tour bus up to Newcastle. We go into this hotel and they're still at it. They're still at each other's throats. And I was like, here, Errol, tell me something. I remember when you did Top of the Pops, you know, the Alibaba theme. And Lee John went, yeah, I came up with the idea. I said, yeah, Errol came out with his cocker flinging. So if you ever get the chance to, I mean, he was hung like a horse. If ever you get this chance to see Imagination doing, it must have been Body Talk. Errol comes from behind the drum kit and he's wearing next to now, apart from this kind of see-through stuff. And I'm a young lad going, holy Jesus, ma'am, cover your eyes. And she's like, why? What? No, it's gone. It's all right. It's fine. There's an anaconda down the front of that. Fern says, I've had Janet Kay on the brain all week. Silly Games. Great song. The Specials made some great stuff. Agreed. I love a bit of real reggae music by Judge Dredd. Up with a cock. Alan. Music and Lights by Imagination. When in Rome, The Promise. Oh, do I know? Yeah, I do know that. I can't recall it instantly, though. Randy Crawford, Street Life. What a tune. I mean, what a tune. The Crusaders. What a band. The Damned, Eloise, a fine cover version. Agreed in the field. Agreed. The Pioneers and Long Shot Kick the Bucket. Ooh. Who did... I've got this Skinhead song in my head now. Can't remember it. Question, this is Napoleon Blown Apart. Adrian, have you heard the album Fluid Druid by Druid in 76? Don't know Napoleon Blown Apart. Who was in Druid? Was there any names? Karina Jane, Earth, Wind and Fire, Let's Groove, or one of the songs that I wanted to get into radio because of is Earth, Wind and Fire's Fantasy. And I remember that Metro Radio had a Tuesday night, I think it was only 90 minutes. And the guy that presented it went on to do telly and stuff. And I heard this song and it just hit me in the chest. I was like, what's that? And I went to school the next day and I was like, Jesus, I've heard this song. Don't know who it is, but whoa, it's amazing. And it was Earth, Wind and Fire, Fantasy. And September's just almost a perfect disco song. Specials, covers, Long Shot. Okay, Scott Walker, Seventh Seal. Scott Walker, what a voice that boy had. The Lambrettas, Poison Ivy. I saw the Lambrettas live in Sunderland once. Poison Ivy. It's a shame that we haven't got, because there's this real synergy, certainly out of Que Sera Mi Vida. That was the Gibson Brothers. Good song though. They called them the Black Beatles at one point. I was like, hey, they've had 2 hits. No better feeling when a song and a voice just hits you like that. I agree, Stuart. I agree. What was I going to say? Bauhaus. Oh, to be the king. Amalia. Bauhaus. Kick in the eye. I dare you to find a better song. Whoa. I mean, just honestly, when we talk about music, and I love these lives where they just go off on tangents. Bad Manners, Inner London Violence. Oh, Ernst. So what I was going to say was, I love the passion in these discussions we have. I love, because literally just by the text, I can tell the love for music. Hot chocolate, it started with a kiss. Or as Quasimodo says, hot chocolate, it started with a cyst. Tracy the Celibate Sinner, Quarter Flash, Harden My Heart. Oh, Quarter Flash. Was it Harden My Heart, Quarter Flash? They had a top 40 hit. Personal Trainer Mike, Simply Red, Picture Book, amazing album. Agreed. Oh, What a Circus. Was that Paul Nichols? No, that was that from Chess? Katrina and the Waves? 99 Luftballon. I'm getting lots of recommendations here. Joys of being born in the 90s. I know, Stuart. 60-year-old arrested for murder of Swanage care. Oh, okay, yeah, it all kicked off early, didn't it? David Essex. No, it wasn't David Essex. It was. I went to see something recently in the theatre, darling, and it was Paul Nicholls. Grandma's Party, Paul Nicholls. And I was on one of these lives, I was trying to say to you that there was an actor that did this kind of rom-com in the 80s that was massive on the BBC. It was Paul Nicholls. Paul Nicholas? Possibly Paul Nicholas. And yeah, Paul Nicholas. Thank you, Ollie. And I was trying to tell everybody that I was with, oh yeah, him, because he's in the program. Him. He did the TV and he had top 40 hits, top 10 hits back in the 70s. And they were like, have you been sniffing the cooking sherry, Adrian? It's like, no. But great actor. It was lovely to see him. It was David Essex. Oh, what a circus. Thank you. Just Good Friends. That was it, Laura. Thank you. I couldn't remember the TV series, and I couldn't remember the name of the guy. And I now definitely can't remember the actress that played opposite him, Jan Francis. Holly, honestly, you're psychic. You couldn't give me the lottery numbers for the weekend, could you? And it was just one of the biggest TV shows in the 80s. Paul Nicholas, Heaven on the Seventh Floor. Oh, you tart. Fern says he looks really old now. That's because we're getting older, Fern, sadly. Johnny Ray, Paul Nicholas was also in Stardust with David Essex. Wasn't there a time in the beginning of the 70s where they were making all these films like Slade, David Essex, Paul Nicholas, Stardust was the film. They should re-release them. I'm sure they don't have much of a story, but they were fantastic. Fantastic. And artists don't make films anymore, not like the Beatles. Who said that? Karina Jane. D-Train, you're the one for me. What a tune that is. The intro is wonderful. Hang on a second. Holly Ruston, 3, 12, 17, 26, 38, 46. Vince and... Oh, of course. Vincent Penny. Thank you, Laura. Jan... Woo Francis. Yeah, Mocky Tart with your videos. Personal trainer Mike. Curiosity killed the cat. Wasn't it Ben Von Pellier that was shagging the female presenter of the Tube that was banging Bob Geldof? She was known in the industry as the Limpet. I'm not going to go any further. Holly, you're wrong. Do you know, if I put them on and I win, do we go halves or have we got a contract or is it a spoken contract? You wanted the winning numbers, Adrian. Thank you, Holly. Tracy the Celibate Sinner. Paulie Yates. Thank you. So Paulie Yates was banging Ben Von Pellier, the lead singer with Curiosity Killed the Cat. And they did do some great tunes, Curiosity. Great tunes. Was Paul Nicholas in The Jazz Singer with Neil Diamond? Super Ted. Didn't know that. Lily the Pink. The Scaffold. Andy Godfrey. Was it the Beatles that wrote that? Because wasn't one of the Scaffold Paul McCartney's brother? Wiggy videos. Did she do Terence Trent D'Arby too? Isn't he called Sananda Maitreya or something now? Laura Sands. No way. Curiosity ended up playing at Butlins. I hope they got plenty of buns for it. Holly Ruston, buy me a pint. I'll buy you 3, Holly. Roxy Music or Brian Ferry and Eno. Oh. Now, Napoleon Blown Apart. Was it Roxy Music or Brian Ferry and Eno that was in the Druid thingy that you asked earlier? No way, Neil. Lily the Pink was #1 the day you were born. Hazel O'Connor, will you? If she asked nicely. Nicholas, sorry, the missus came in and had to leave the Kirk for 20 minutes. Where are we up to? We're all over the place. We're just talking we're talking passion. We're talking because there's so much information in the back of my head that obviously I've completely forgotten about. But when we do these, Mike McCartney and Roger McGough, thank you, Neil. When we do these kind of lives, every randomly now and again, it just brings all the stuff out of me. Somebody mentioned Luther Vandross earlier. What a boy. What a voice. The Beatles were Lottie Martin says the Beatles were the first really wow band possibly from the UK, and it was a music high for decades. Zig Zig Sputnik, Nick, Andy Turner. Oh, Zig Zig Sputnik. They had Love Bomb F111, I think was their biggest hit. John Gorman, yeah, not related. Leave Me Be, I'm sick. Napoleon Bonaparte. Brilliant. Bollocks to politics tonight. Thank you, Alan. I agree with you. It's just nice to have a bit of respite. Not everybody's staying, but it's nice to have a bit of respite. Grace Jones, Nipple to the Bottle, 12-inch Nassau tapes. Ernst Goldfinger, Grace Jones, Pull Up to the Bumper, baby. Oh, that mental image, it didn't go away for decades. Bonzo Do Dog Da Band, Vivian Stanshall is sadly missed. Henry at Rollinson End. Yeah, the Bonzo Dog Do Da Band. Remember. No, Dave Clark 5. What? Fuzzbox. Who did Fuzzbox? No, I know that the Who did Mama's Got a Squeeze Box. Daddy likes to... You know what I'm saying? What about the B-52s? Rock Lobster, Alan. There's a tune. Along with what I was saying earlier, the Bauhaus, Kick in the Eye. Oh, just a lovely little 5 minutes, 10 minutes nearly. B-52s. Amalia Grassi says, saw Grace at the Fridge in Brixton in the 80s. Wow, unreal, alien, beyond stunning, giant steps, huge shoulders, so cool. I wouldn't like to go boxing with her, though. She's got a seemingly fairly tasty right hand. Ask Russell Harty, if you remember that. Small Faces, Love Shack, Pig Bag. Papa's got a brand new Pig Bag, which is actually a James Brown song. Alan says, ooh, baby, baby, baby. Small Faces. Holly Ruston. Oh, now, you see, we're going to fall out. John Lennon was a bit of a dick, but great sarcasm. Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, okay. When asked if Ringo was the best drummer in the world, John replied, he's not even the best drummer in the Beatles. Class. But, and I was watching a video earlier of somebody trying to play one of the early Beatles songs on the drums. And they were saying, so you think that Ringo couldn't play drums? Try playing this. And I'm watching this drummer struggling to play something that sounds so simple, but the way that Ringo played it, it wasn't easy by any stretch. ZZ Top, yeah. Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, I'm an Urban Spaceman, if you insist. Andy McCluskey, oh, Andy McCluskey from OMD, An Absolute Gentleman. Somebody, was it you, Neil, mentioned OMD Enola Gay earlier. What a tune that is. I mean, you know, we're talking more than 40 years later, and it still sounds as fresh today as it did back then. John Lennon a bit up himself, said Alan. Well, he was allowed to be. He was a genius. Absolute genius. I can't remember why I used to like the Bangles. Wiki Video. Do you want me to tell you? Susanna Hoffs. The other three look like lesbians. Best drummer in the world, Chris from Ocean's 8, Alaska. Ooh, Amalia. Don't know that band. I will take your word for it, and I'll go and seek them out. Andy McCluskey, Atomic Kitten, still not forgiven. Tracy the Celibate Sinner, I agree. Wholeheartedly, I agree. Mind you, not Atomic Kitten, but What's a Face on OnlyFans, making £1 million and then bragging about it. The Washington lad who took the music industry line should have been millionaire but wouldn't sell his soul, and speaks highly of, yes, Nicholas, Martin Stevenson and the Dainties. I went skiing with the keyboard player from Martin Stevenson and the Dainties, whose name I can't remember, but was a fabulous bloke. And I agree with you. And do you know, the last time we were kind of talking about music, can you remember I told you about one of the interviews that I did with possibly the shyest man in pop or rock music, Paddy McAloon? Well, he's not going by Paddy McAloon these days, but he's back out doing live work. And I mean, he was just the most superb songwriter. Paddy McAloon. White Shade of Pale. Yeah, James Brown, Living in America. Oh, I prefer Doing It to Death by James Brown, to be fair. What a rhythm that is. What a groove. Did anyone see the Home and Hermits movies? I didn't, Andrew James, but I think I've seen something in one of the papers over the last few days that they're touring again. Hermits. Oh, they'll make a few bob, to be fair. Otis Redding sitting on the dock of the bay. Super Ted. Enola Gay was about the plane that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. I agree, but it's a haunting song. It's beautifully haunting. Lottie Martin, he's not trying to be fake to get likes, and sarcasm as a sign of love from a genius like Lennon. I think he was amazing. Thank you, Lottie. Me too. He's one of, along with Brian Clough and Muhammad Ali, he's kind of like one of my ultimate heroes, because he was, like you say, he was clever and witty. The sarcasm was cutting, and all of the wannabes nowadays all want to be him. Paddy and Martin both on kitchenware, says Nicholas, and that was who was the? I've been invited to go and see who was the other band on kitchenware that went top 10. There was 2 or 3 of them. Sunderland band. I was talking to one of my mates who's putting the gig on, and kitchenware was just was it Newcastle? A record label. Oh, come on, Adrian. What was it? I can't remember. The English Beat. Thank you, Andy. The Parkinson versus Muhammad Ali show, the best party show ever, in my humble opinion. I agree, Alan. I mean, Muhammad Ali was just a very special soul. Booker T and the MG's Green Onion. Oh, Bovril. Great bit of Northern Soul-ish. It's just the drummer with a band like Cast Off Kinks. It's Mick Avery. For the ticket prices, you cannot complain. Thank you, Andrew. Bob Dylan. Oh, what a tune that is. Lay, Lady, Lay. Tune. Kane Gang. Thank you, Nicholas. So the Kane Gang are doing some gigs. I think they might be doing one in London that I will have to go down for. But I'm trying to get there. I think it's over the next few weeks. I'm trying to get there because, well, they just made some great songs. I'm going to see if I can try and get them on here. I mean, it would be brilliant to interview them, because if you look at the 80s and now the 2020s, music industry is very different 40 years down the line. Was Clough your most nerve-wracking interview? I didn't interview him, Stuart. It was he came into Century 106 to do the phone-in, and he was just in and about, and everybody in the building knew my reverence for Brian Clough, so they set it up so I could have some time with him, literally sitting at the seat at the feet of God. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Ernst Goldfinger, Joe 90 theme, soul classic. I'm with you for that one, definitely. Alan, Dusty Springfield and the Pet Shop Boys, brilliant. Dusty had one of the best vocals, best voices in the world ever. Andy Turner says, the beat, mirror in the bathroom, please come see. The door is locked, just you and me. Can I take you to a restaurant that's got glass tables so I can watch yourself while you are eating? So you can watch yourself while you are eating. Great vocals, great lyrics. They don't write them like that anymore. Again, Taylor Swift, Ken Booth, Everything I Own. Wasn't that covered by Boy George, Fern? If you like Small Faces, don't watch their very low budget movie, Dateline Diamonds. It's very appalling, like a crash. Thank you, Andrew. Hazy Fantasy, Scritty Pillity, Milli Vanilli. Well, we won't go into Milli Vanilli, but Hazy Fantasy, John Wayne is big leggy. And what was the guy in Hazy Fantasy who went off to Jeremy, who went off to become a DJ, and he was kind of part of the London cool crowd. Scritty Pillity, Green Garside. Wonderful. Wonderful. Didn't have streaming services back in the 70s and 80s. Oh, if we did, Stuart. Viv Kenyon, hit the likes, only 85. Yeah, you're wrong, and I'm busting me nuts here, and you're not any. Oh, tough crowd. Only Love Can Break a Heart, Saint Etienne. Wonderful song. Woo cow. Always got to pop your cherry if you're a newbie. Jeremy Healy, that's the one. Inspector Gadget, Haim Saban and Shuki Levy. Inspector Gadget. Oh, Danny Bryant losing you, saddest song I ever heard. Ooh, don't know that. Inspector Gadget. Now, there was a member of Level 42 who did a song called Inspector Gadget on 4th and Broadway Records. And what was his name? Wally Badarou. So Wally Badarou worked with Level 42 and then went off to do some of his solo stuff. I don't think he's playing with them now. I think this was back in the 80s. But Wally Badarou, Inspector Gadget. If you can ever get it on the streaming services, I will have a look for you. But proper tune. It's a bit ploddy, but back in the day, it was right out there on the cutting edge. Everything I Own was originally by Bread, David Gates. So what was the Ken Booth? Andy Turner's desperate for me to mention Nick Kershaw. I'm not quite sure why. Butterfly on a Wheel by The Mission. Great goth band. Oh, yeah, we love a bit of goth. Thank you, Napoleon Blown Apart. And that's a real band, a very good movie. The book is not bad either, written by the Beatles biographer. Holly Rushton, Kiss the Boys Goodbye, Come Live With Me. The Story of the Blues, song by Wah. Yeah, remember that. My favourite school song. It resonates to a young lad who bought Sounds and Enemy. Oh, same. Nicholas, same here. Every week. Sounds, Enemy, Melody Maker. Literally bought them. Was it a Thursday they were all published? Bought them all and literally poured over every page, every bit. Paula Yates, as we mentioned earlier, she used to write for, was it Sounds? Temptation, Heaven 17. So the link with Heaven 17 and Temptation is Rod Stewart did a cover version of a female singer's song, and the female singer did the lead vocal on Heaven 17's Temptation. I can't remember her name. Ken Booth and Everything That I Own. Oh, man. And it was P.P. Arnold, First Cut is the Deepest. So Rod Stewart covered that. And I'm sure P.P. Arnold did the vocal on Heaven 17 Temptation. That was a tune and a half. I mean, you're coming out of Sheffield when you've got Human League and Heaven 17, and you've got all the synth stuff. It's just, I mean, we're never going to have anything like that again. And we've lived the best parts. Can you imagine the kids coming through? Oh, I like Taylor Swift. Walk off! Get out of my house! Not having anybody in either likes Taylor Swift. I'd have been shite, man. But, you know, it's of the time. I'm not part of that tribe. I'm a tribe that I had in my time. The Beatles, the Stones, Led Zeppelin, glam rock, Motown and disco. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, throat's a bit dry. So First Cut is the Deepest. Was that a cover version? What was I saying? So I've had Beatles, Stones, Led Zeppelin, Motown, glam rock, disco, punk, electronica in the beginning of the 80s. Then in the stadium rock with Prince. Prince was one of my favourite artists. And what they got now? Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran. It's of the time. And if Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran to come up with something that would match, never mind the bollocks, that would match Led Zeppelin 1, 2 and 3, match any Beatles songs. I mean, oh no, Stuart. Honestly, keep her away from my house. I mean, even the new Mrs. Allen, she kind of knows. She knows. Don't mention Taylor Swift, and bless her, we have some relatives in New Zealand, and they came across and they stayed. And the mum and the daughter, daughter's 9, 10, and they were mad on Taylor Swift, and I was like, oh no, how do I get out of this? You know, family politics. How can I say? Taylor Swift's shite, man. Don't me, ears are bleeding. Taylor Swift does have nice legs, though. Yeah, not bad for a bloke. Ray Norton, songs today are too woke. Oh, I know. Oh, the old one. The Motors, Airport. Ooh, Airport. That's a top tune. And wasn't that at the same time? It was around about when Saturday Night Fever was released. The Motors, and who was it? Not Renaissance. Dancing in the City, Marshall Hayne was out. And I always associate the Motors Airport with Marshall Hayne. Stuart, yeah, keep her away from the channel. Honestly, I'll upset everybody. Holly Ruston, I was named after Les Gray's group, Mud. So why are you not called Mud Ruston then, Holly? Tiger Feet by Mud. There was a tune. Even the bikers love that. They've got their own special dance to that. It's wonderful. I've never even heard of Taylor Swift. Angelic Inspirations. Don't. Honestly, don't inflict pain on your ears. Oh, thank you, Laura. You've made my night. Final whistle has gone 2-1 to the Black Cats. 3 points clear. Oi, 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 oi. But it's a long old road to the end of the season. I would like to see us get up into the Premiership. Not sure about Jordan Henderson coming, though. Not sure. Wild West Hero, ELO, was the same year. Agree, Holly. Now, isn't it interesting that at the time I was thinking, oh, ELO, it's not punk, it's not rock, it's not, you know, what were some of the rock songs they used to... If the Kids are united, they will never be defeated. Sham 69. So I was into that kind of punky element and also into stuff. But I thought, oh, ELO, it's for me mum and dad. And now I look back 40 years at ELO and think, wow, what great songs they were. Isn't it interesting? I Can't Stand the Rain Eruption, On My Window, in the Field. Just wonderful. A great song. Again, these songs live with you. They stay with you. Pilot, January, Sick and Tired of You. I can't remember the next. But again, great. Judy Teen, Theo Bovril. He died recently, didn't he? Judy Teen. God, you can tell I'm getting older. You wouldn't want to be in her car. She has Taylor Swift playlist. No, Stuart, no, you'd have to handcuff me to get me in there. Precious Wilson, beautiful. Yes, Alan, great vocal. ELO, big band sound. Just everything about ELO. When I look back, it didn't have the fire of punk. It didn't have who was the Eagles guy? The nearest I got to ELO was the Eagles guitarist Joe Walsh, Life's Been Good. That was a tune. That was a proper tune. Especially the full 7 or 8 minute version with the slide guitar. America Horse with No Name, not a bad tune. Tracy the Celibate Sinner. Judy Zook, Stay With Me Till Dawn. Again, another song that they don't play on the radio anymore. Why don't they play these bloody songs? That's a fantastic song. The Members, The Sound of the Suburbs. Oh, what a great song. Cockney Rebel in general. Oh, Cockney Rebel. Yeah, the Bovril were pretty amazing. Thank you. Have you heard Paul Heaton's version of Living Thing? Oh, different but catchy. It's on the Covers album, Foot Tappers and Head Nodders. No, I haven't, Holly. I will look at that out. All right, then. We'll have a quick 5 minutes. Songs that you hate. Nicholas was going first. Bridge Over Troubled Water. Simon and Garfunkel. So, we've had all the passion. We've had all the love. We've had all the great songs. Let's just have a couple of minutes of... Joe Dolce, Shut Up Your Face will be up there for me. Songs that you hate. Sniffing the Tears, Driver's Seat. Oh, there's a tune. Steve Harley. Yeah, Exile, Kiss You All Over. You mucky tart. Is that an offer? The ELO cellist got killed, hit by a round haystack. True story. Oh, wiki video, Silver Lady by David Soul. I love Starsky and Hutch, so I'm torn. Anything by the Bee Gees? Ooh. Didn't they stop playing a lot of songs on the radio because of lyrics were deemed offensive? They're not bloody offensive, they're creative. I mean, I get... listen to the James Gang, AA. James Gang, will do. The Grandma song by the... Oh, no. St. Winifred's School Choir. Oi, 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 oi. Honestly, I'd get done for murder if I had a... They've got a thought tongue, and they were thinking like that, and I was like, oh, please, I'm going to trash the TV, man. Get those. Get off my telly. Oh, Napoleon Bonaparte. Most status quo songs. No, thank you. The Firm, Star Trekking. Oh, I get that, Andy. Sad songs. Basically, I like fun songs. Yeah, me too, Lottie. But some ballads are... some of them, not many of them. Can't Stand Robbie. Angels. Interesting in the field. Interesting. I made him a multi-millionaire. Grandma, we love you. Then Winifred Screw, Choir, my... who's that? James Blunt, beautiful. My ears bleed, said Lauren Taylor. Doctor 69, Grandma, we love you. Mine's dead now, so I'm never going to play that bugger again. Nellie the Elephant packed a trunk and said goodbye to the circus. Off she went. Arthur Daly, he's all right. Ooh, remember that. Stuart says I'm not easily offended. I know, all this wokery shite. Oh, you're offending me. Well, golf, I'll offend you some more than. Renee and Renato. Didn't they kick somebody off the top, Renee and Renato? And I met... hang on, which one was Renee? Renee was the woman and Renato was the bloke. And I met Renato, the bloke, on some charity golf day in the East Midlands. He thought he was a fucking superstar. No. Life is like a butterfly. Who's that one? Never met mine. Or has that never been to me? Hate that Baby Shark song. Ah, ga, do. No, I'm with you. Andy Turner says most shite that's out there now. Personal trainer Mike, Bananarama, saw Bananarama as a support to Chic at some big stately pile 18 months or so ago. And they just, the two of them, because Siobhan went off to marry Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics, didn't she? And the pair of them just stood there behind the mic. Didn't dance, didn't do anything. Just stood behind the mic, out of tune. Obviously, auto-tune on. Okay, some of the songs are okay-ish, maybe, but I'm with you. I would rather get stabbed to death than listen to a Bananarama song. But I had to listen to them because Chic was on after them. Kippers for Tea, Brotherhood of Man. Monkeys were awful. Interesting. Orville the Duck. MacArthur Park, love it or hate it. Oh, in the field. Now, which version? Is it the Donna Summer version, which was the cover version, or was it the actor? I can see him. The actor that did the icing on the... Oh, I had his name there. Oh! Richard Harris. Thank you, Neil. God, I was struggling with that one. Richard Harris. Yeah, I mean, the disco Donna Summer version is like 17 minutes long. The full album version is 17 minutes long. Oh, interesting, Stuart. Another song I don't like is Don't Marry Her, Marry Me by the Beautiful South. Rita Armpit and the Perspirations. Really, Sean? Are you a first timer? The Archies, worst song ever. Achy Breaky Heart. Oh, absolutely, Rusty Mouse. Absolutely. And he has offspring that sings now as well. Anything by William Shatner or Leonard Nimoy. They didn't like each other, did they? They were always at each other's throats. Now, which one's dead? It's Nimoy, isn't it? And Shatner's still padding around. Under Pressure by a rock punk band. I can't remember the name of the band, though. Under Pressure was... David Bowie and Queen, wasn't it? If You Leave Me Now, Chicago. If you leave me now, I wish you bloody would, and take your case with you and the dog and your shite tasting music. Puff the Magic Dragon. Too sad, the old Bovril. Do you want me to do Puff the Magic Dragon again? Puff the Magic Dragon couldn't find a mate. Frolicked in the autumn mist, accustomed to his fate. Then one day he found her. A lovely bit of stuff, but he couldn't manage it. That's why they called him Puff. Shatner's 93, but doesn't look it. What, 150? Any song by the Sex Pistols. Oh, mad man. I had a pair of pants with Captain Kirk on the front. Shatner pants. Brilliant, Sean. Lottie Martin, Sweet. Oh, really? Sweet. Love is Like Oxygen. There's a great song, and some of the early stuff in the 70s. Tracy the Celibate Sinner, music to slash your wrists by. Love songs, late night radio. Oh, J.H. Christ, Nothing Worse for a Singleton. Feckin' love songs. I'm with you. But on Rock FM, what was it called? Pillow Talk. I did Pillow Talk on Rock FM for a few years, so I had to like the songs that I was playing. Otherwise, I definitely would have slashed my own wrists. So I kind of got through it. But now, no, I love a bit of passion. Wig Wham Bam Gonna. Oh, what's the lyrics again? Wig Wham Bam Gonna. No, I haven't got it. Napoleon Blown Apart, but yeah, I get it. I Don't Hate This Abracadabra, Stevie Miller, cool track. Okay. Peter Cetera, lead singer of Chicago, and he's asked for 17 similar offences to be taken into consideration. Brilliant. Hang on, Holly, you've just told us, man. I've got Star Trek pants, Klingons all over the back. I know. Klingons on the starboard bow, Holly. Right, I'm going to wrap it up now. Because, honestly, I did all this research, and the minute we get going on one of these lives about tunes and tunage and top tunage, All I Want for Christmas, Mariah Carey, no, she's deep in the shite with Diddy, the diddler, let me tell you. That's what I've got to tell you, just to round this off. So hopefully nobody will leave before I tell you this. So I've seen a picture of a topless J-Lo and topless other people in this picture with the diddler. So she's in the shite up to here is young J-Lo, and I will guarantee you that Ben Affleck's seen the vids, and that's why they're getting a divorce. He knows what she's been up to, and if I can find it, I've downloaded it onto my phone. I will post it on here somewhere, but it's on X. Please, if you are on Twitter, then go and follow me. It's at Adrian Allen, my real name. Mad Matt, any Christmas songs that's played on the 1st of December, because you know for a fine fact you'll be waiting for 1st of January. Oh, don't. I mean, I've been out in the shops. When was it? Yesterday. They've got all the Christmas stuff out. Hang on. See, this is what I don't mind putting the Christmas stuff out, but November the 6th, please. Thank you, Stuart. Always appreciate it. Thank you, Adrian, from Neil Cunningham and everyone. Great night. Wilfred Bramble, second hand. Andrew James, Wilfred Bramble. What's his face? Steptoe. Yeah, seen it. Not looking good for any of them. Christmas stuff out in August, said Rusty Mouse. Leave it until we get into November, man. I mean, even the weather's still quite mild, considering time of year, but it's always around November the 5th, where the weather changes to be cold nights. And Fern says, yeah, seen it. Looking good for any of them. It's gonna, unless, and I'll round it, a wonderful night. I've really enjoyed talking about music and stuff. The Democrats need to get in, because if Trump gets in, Hollywood's finished. The music industry, the rap music industry, and some country singers finished, because they're all being caught. And the Democrats have been allowing all these kids to disappear. 350,000 kids have disappeared in the United States. How does that work then? Oh, might have been the Frummers in New York, the Black Hats, and all those tunnels under their synagogue. They're all at it, because if there are certain people where money has no object. They literally, if you want 50 grand for a kid, that's 50 grand. It's not even a round of drinks. And that's what they do. So people get them. Nicholas, Google it. A little bit of trivia. Bananarama B-side, Only Your Love, took the rave scene over 1990. No one knew what the producer had pressed on the B-side. What a tune. I'll have a look at that. Thank you, Nicholas. Michael Bublé will be defrosting soon. Bless him. Amalia Grassi, best night. Thank you, Amalia. I know you love your tunage. And I know you love your music, but every now and again it's nice to have something and do one of these lives where we're not, although we can do the serious stuff, we can do the politics and we can do the other stuff and the social commentary, but it's just nice to have the passion and the feelings behind what makes us human, and it's music every single time. No! Andy Turner, I swear Heart was playing a Christmas song today. Well, I'm not going to be listening to them. Ray Norton, deep underground military bases for trafficking. Yeah, agree. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. It's big, big business. Big business. Lottie Martin, it's the feel-good memories together. I agree. None of us have fallen out. How cool is that? And music, well, no politics and no religion, but music and sport normally gets us going. But none of us have fallen out. Jingle bells, Starmer smells. Exactly, Alan. Mind you, we've got the budget coming up, and they're going to railroad him out of town. I was going to say, I'm going to mention Jeff Capes passed today, and I feel really sad about that, because as I was trying to allude at the very beginning of the live, that there's some youngsters won't get it. They won't even know who he is. But for certain people, he was a huge sports star. He was like the strongest man in the world ever. Commonwealth gold medalist. He passed away at age 75, which is not a bad innings. Twice the world's strongest man, and it's an 80s thing. It's a 70s and 80s thing. And if you weren't around, you wouldn't kind of understand how we grew up with him as the world's strongest man. So if you think about these, our contemporary resonances, our reference points. So if we were talking about anyone that lifted something heavy, you'd kind of go, look, Jeff Capes. And if somebody was taking a photo, like a fancy photo, you'd go, David Bailey. And then if anybody was driving fast, you'd go, Sterling Moss. But now, you mention any of those names to the kids coming up, they're like, who? Going into the jungle soon, Colleen Rooney. Ozempic, anyone? Have you seen how skinny she is? I mean, you know, she not exactly carrying a load of timber, but she's a lot slimmer nowadays. And you look at all these, like, Meghan Markle and Oprah Winfrey and all these who are like spindly, skiddly, no beef on them. Ozempic. And my final comment this evening, because I don't want to ruin the passion and the loveliness that we've had for an hour and a half. 2 hours, bloody hell, is this. The Chris Carver story, you're being distracted. I can do a video tomorrow and give you my insight and read you some of the statements and kind of guide you through what these politicians are doing. But I'm telling you, the Chris Carver story, it's a distraction. Why is it a distraction, Adrian? Because have you already remembered the name Peter Lynch? Peter Lynch was one of the demonstrators in Southport. They took a placard and was shouting hurdy words at the cops. I mean, hairy ass cops. They're bigger than that, man. They've got thick skins. They've got to have. But you're being distracted by Chris Carver. Please don't forget Peter Lynch, because the mainstream media have. He was jailed for 2 years, 8 months and committed suicide last Saturday. HMP Moreland have questions to answer because how did they allow that to happen? There was no history of violence with Peter Lynch. So my personal view, Starmer and Cooper have got blood on their hands, because it was those two clowns, those two imbeciles, that put him in jail. A man took his life. And just remember this, the news cycle is now hours. It's not like it used to be a week or a few days. You literally get a few hours and then it's gone, disappeared. All of it, all of the news is managed. All of it. And they've squashed that story from yesterday. There was only the the Sun. Nobody else was covering the story. Now, this is Wednesday. Remember, this came out on Monday. It was gone by yesterday. And there was only the Sun carried a column inch on page 9. Nobody else was talking about it. None of them. None of them. And that cheeky, caring, understanding 90s type that is portraying himself as our Prime Minister. And he stood there saying to people, right-wing thugs, right-wing thugs, right-wing thugs. So, how many kids you got? Starmer. Cough. How many kids you got? Is it just the two? How many children you got? We'll keep asking questions. You're gone, mate. You're gone. Politically, you're gone. You're walking backwards into obscurity. You and your party are going to make you go before the May elections, the local elections next year, because Labour are shitting themselves that they're going to take an absolute doing at the local elections in May next year. And Starmer is in the crosshairs. Yvette Cooper, cheeky bitch. What? She's taken these, no, they were only worth this, and it was through my husband, and it was... Forgive my language, but she's enough to make a saint swear, that woman. They've got blood on their hands. Do not, under any circumstances, ever let these two clowns forget a man's name, Peter Lynch. And Mayor Carnage, he's going to have districts in London. 15-minute city. London is becoming a 15-minute city, and they're going to do it without you knowing. You're never going to know until it's too late. That's why they need to be gone. The Tories electing a new leader. Oh, here, just switch the light off, close the door, and leave. Nobody wants the Tories anymore, apart from the political classes who want to ask Starmer what's a woman. Agreed, Stuart. Lottie says they should apologise. This budget will be nasty, says Fern. Not even a sorry. But and the reason why they allowed this officer's name to be put out into the mainstream media is because it was going to create a furore. They don't care about whether people are alive or dead. The politicians don't care. That's why they did it. But I needed to say that tonight and leave this as a historical document. Will Starmer be gone before Christmas? There's every chance that the Labour Party is going to implode into civil war or uncivil war once they decide that they're going to foist this coming budget on us. This is the political party of the working man and woman. My hairy backside. So my name's Adrian Allen. Apologies for the robust language. It's all in my view. But thank you for an interesting... thank you for a very interesting live. Lots of fabulous songs, fabulous music. And if you don't know any of the songs that some people have been talking about, just give yourself an hour on Spotify or one of the streaming services and go and listen to some of them, because they're wonderful. They're wondrous. Things of outstanding natural beauty. So my name's Adrian Allen. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions. Thank you for being here for this live this evening. But most of all, thank you for your indulgence. Whatever you do, don't forget the Battenberg and the emergency curly whirly. See you for the next live, Sunday, 8 o'clock. We'll do it differently on Sunday. Look after yourself.